Hey y'all, I just wanted to remind you that you do not owe anyone your time and explanation, access into your inner world. You don't owe that to anyone, even if they're someone who's supposedly helping you out. Not to say that you don't need to open up to get assistance sometimes, but a lot of times people that are wanting to help are wanting way too much personal information. There's various reasons for that. Sometimes it's just their own curiosity and their own, nosiness, and sometimes it's to do witchcraft and such. And so if you're getting this feeling, this inkling to pull back, or this makes me feel uncomfortable, I know you're coming at me with smiles and you're coming at me with good intentions and wanting to help, but you can help me without being all up in my fucking grill, all up in my fucking everything about me. People don't need to know the time of your birth. You know what I mean? For example, they don't need to go to all your appointments with you. If you're the type that might want that assistance and that support and that guidance, that's different. But if you're not needing it and not wanting it and they keep pushing for certain things, there's a reason for it. And so trust yourself when you tell someone no. Trust yourself in giving yourself space and time in allowing things to unfold in the way that they naturally will unfold for you. And you'll see that it will all work out in the ways that it needs to. Sometimes it's hard, we don't want to be seen as the bad guy, especially us females. We were taught to be nice and kind and you overgive and you deduce yourself for others in so many different ways, in ways that you don't even realize. It's so subtle, it's so ingrained in us and in the society, and I don't think that that's how we were called to be. It's this ever unfolding realizations of the subtleties of this world, the giving of yourself over to another entity. That's where I was going. But you don't have to. You're not called to do that, right? And and that makes me think about Christianity. And if we're called to give ourselves over to the entity that is God, but God being the source, the Father, the Creator, the source of all of our goodness, of our light, of our breath, it's not necessarily, yes, you are giving all of yourself over in a way, but you're really coming into collaboration with the one true Creator, the one who can get you to the places and spaces that you need to be, who can clear your mind, your heart, and your body, who can heal you from the inside out. And yes, we can do things to help us get there. We can work out, we can write, we can, cut certain people off, we can allow other people in, we can meditate more, we can, do these different habitual tasks that get us to places in life. But if you're not lined up with source, with your higher self, with where you're actually supposed to be going, a lot of times you're going to be going in the wrong direction, or you're going to be going in the right direction but with the wrong intention. And so then it's kind of stifling in a way. Anyways, I hope this helps. It's just a reminder to trust yourself and to not give in to the peer pressure and the constant barrage of entities that want all of your info and energy and information. Monitoring spirits are real and they come to play in different people in different ways. And you're getting those intuitive nudges and gut urges for a reason. It's not just you feeling some kind of way about it. That is divine guidance speaking to you, through you, for your protection. There's a reason why God's not wanting you to share all of your info with everyone God's not wanting you to allow other people into all of these spaces, into your sacred space. Like, you are meant to be a sacred being. You are meant to be not always solo on this journey, but at times, yes, you are. And you can't truly, I don't think, line up and link up with God and your higher self if you're not taking that time out to be by yourself. And so a lot of times what will happen is, when you're going through the motions, your life will find a way to sit you down and or shut you up and bring you to this place where you have no other choice but to lean on God, but to take it to God. And we don't always do that. Sometimes we want to stay angry, and we want to attack people, and we want to blame people, and we want to be lost in the sauce, and we want to be lost in the worries, but we don't even want to. It's so habitual. You don't even really realize how much it's consuming your life. And God wants to help you get out of all of that. And you've just been running this fucking rat race, this hamster wheel that does not serve you in any capacity. And I know it's crazy. Like, I can't do this, I can't do that, my life's gonna fall apart. Like, it's okay. Maybe it was meant to fall apart. You'll find a different way. Maybe it wasn't meant to work out that way at that time, but it's meant to work out in a different way in a different time. Or maybe it was never meant to work out in those ways at all. But you'll never know unless you continue to walk through it. So just have patience with yourself as always. Stay present as best you can. Stay kind and compassionate with yourself and with others. Everyone is fighting struggles that we don't truly understand. Some of us do, some of us don't. And the spiritual battle, it gets heavy, and people will lash out at you, and that's part of the battle too. It's not only are people struggling within themselves and with themselves, but because of those struggles, they will lash out and leach out to you in different ways. And it's another level of the battle of for your soul, for your center, for your focus, right? And so how can you remain focused on your center of gravity, your truth, on God and what he's doing in your life and where he's taking you? And we don't even know. Sometimes it helps to know, like, have like an end point, but we can just kind of guess where our end points are. We don't really even know. Would I have ever thought I would be here? Kinda, but also not, and it is one of those things. It is what it is. And we just have to have that acceptance and that understanding that as we continue to grow and move through these messy moments of our life, that it will clear up. The more that you clean up your life, the more that you clean up your mental, the more that you clean up your habits, your belief system, the more clear and precise and disciplined and focused your whole life will be. All the things that aren't serving you will fall away. And you'll find people hit you up less, or you just don't feel as comfortable in certain people's presence, or even not even uncomfortable, but just a legit like agitation, irritation within certain people's presence. And that is most definitely signs for you to take a step back. Maybe you're needing time away from yourself. It's not necessarily that person or whatever the situation, but it's that you need time by yourself, to sit with yourself, to reflect, to come back to yourself, to come back to God, to come back to the truth of who you are and what you're supposed to do here. We can't do that if we're running around chasing task lists and to-dos and money, even though at this point I think that's literally what I've been doing, just running around. I am and I'm not. I was stressing and pressing, but now I'm more in the flow, it seems. And there's things that I've been called to do that I'm not currently in the capacity to put into fruition in the 3D, right? I'm not able to bring it to life quite yet, but I believe in time I will be. And I believe in time you will be as well. And it might look like something completely different than what you ever thought your life would be. And the people that are around you right now, standing by your side, that you feel they're going to be there forever, they might not be there at all. And that might be the only way that you get to where you need to go, is by letting these people go, these habits go. And it's not easy. But nothing worthwhile ever is easy. Showing up every day despite how you feel isn't easy. Pushing through workouts and diets isn't easy. I'm not great at them. But even getting through it messy, getting through it imperfect, is getting through it. And you're still learning, and you're still growing, and you're still healing, and you're still coming out on the other side a changed person, transformed in a new way. Even if there's a lot of things that are still the same in your life, there are so many things that are so different. So have gratitude and appreciation for the fact that you're still here, that you can still move through, that you can still move up and out, that you still have the choice and the chance to change, and do so. That God is still for you, that you are still for you, even when it doesn't always seem like it. Thank you for never giving up on yourself. Always. Thank you for pushing through hard days. Thank you for trying something new. Thank you for being brave enough to step out of the box. Thank you for being brave enough to think of yourself differently, to allow the divine guidance that comes to you from the higher realms, from the higher vibrations, allowing it to just settle for just even a moment. Sometimes we're so deep in the darkness that the thought of something more positive for ourselves and for our life is just so heartbreaking, because we feel as though it's not for us, it was never for us, and we'll never get there. But the reason that you're getting that download, that that's a possibility, that you could be different, that you are healing, that you are growing, that you could achieve something more than what you could ever dream of, is because God sees that for you. And it's only you allowing yourself to stay stuck. But you can also allow yourself to move through it gently, forcefully. I know there's like the old dynamic where you gotta push, work, hustle, but we're not getting anywhere, moving here and there. Like, we need to just... Sometimes a lot more happens in the rest. A lot more happens in the reflection, and the time alone, and the time away than you realize. And we don't always notice it until we step back into the matrix. We step back into the old, I don't want to say old patterns, but the old ways of life in different energy. So when you're in different energy, you will have a different mindset regarding the same situations. You'll handle them differently. Sometimes you might not. You might feel like you let yourself down, but I promise you, maybe, but you're probably not. You're probably being too hard on yourself, honestly. We all are guilty of being our own worst critics. And I think God wants to take that from you too, from being so hard on yourself that you can see nothing else but your failures. Because you are so much more than a string of failures. You're so much more than the sad moments. You're so much more than the mistakes. And then the beliefs that other people have of you that don't even suit you. The misunderstandings that don't suit you. It's not even who you are. So why would you accept that? Why would you put that upon yourself? Why would you carry that around like a shield, like armor, saying this is who I am when it's not anything close to who you are? Allow God to show you the beauty of who you are. Allow Him to show you the goodness of who you are. Allow Him to show you how you are changing and transforming. Allow Him to show you the old patterns that no longer serve you, the relationships that no longer serve you, the ways of being that no longer serve you, and allow Him to overwhelm you with the possibilities of more, the possibilities of growth, the possibilities of healing, the possibilities of open doors and open windows, the possibilities of laughing in the face of danger, the possibility of laughing in the face of hatred, the possibility of laughing in the face of the demons that try to take you out. Because what do you have to be scared of? What do you have to be worried about? I know you're going this whole list right now, but it's not anything of anything. It's just a thing. And it's just a thing that you're not needing to carry anymore. They say give everything over to God. It's not as easy as it seems. Sometimes we think that we have, but we're still holding on to them in these different ways. Keep practicing. Keep doing it. Keep going forward. Keep falling forward. Keep falling into place. It's not falling apart, it's falling into place. You are falling into place. Your life is falling into place. Sometimes, much of the time, it has to fall apart before it falls back together. You don't want to build on shaky ground. You don't want to build on faulty relationships. People who will backstab you the second you try to get up. You're getting up this hill and you've been working so hard on it, and the second you get to the top, there's people shoving boulders down at you and tripping you and knocking you back down the hill. Wouldn't you rather be alone than have someone who's out to get you in those ways? But you're not alone. You have God on your side. And with God, you can do anything that you dream to achieve. It might take longer. It might not be so glitzy and glamoury like other people, but knowing that you are doing it with integrity, that you were doing it in the right ways, that you were doing it and healing as you go versus just flipping a switch and getting them. I gotta go because I'm getting a call. Laters.